G'day everyone, Duckville here. We're going to watch game number 2 between EGiNcontrol and ST Bomber. Sorry, actually getting the music enabled there, not really sure what that's going to do. But we will see these guys fight out here on Tal'Darim Alta. This particular map, of course, is really nice for PvT. I really like this. You can actually do some fast expansions as Protoss and get a good sort of lead in the economy against the Terran. But we'll see what is going to happen. Both of these guys starting out with a very fast expansion from each of them in the previous game on Shakuris, and we'll see what happens here in this one. Can promote some sorts of play. You can get some really interesting sort of cheesy plays on this map. But you can also see a lot of the time we see Protoss actually going out with a sentry-based force and just trying to take out this position, which normally becomes a big bunker field for Terrans. And if you can get a bunch of sentries up and take down those bunkers with no repairing SCVs, you can get into a really good spot. So we'll see if EGiNcontrol is going to fight back here. Of course, it is a 1-0 with Bomber in the lead, and we'll see what these guys are going to do. It looks as if we're going to have a Rax going down just now for Bomber, so nothing too fancy coming out of either of these players, opening up standard sort of ways as they did in the previous game. Looks as if we're going to have that scouting probe heading out for EGiNcontrol as well. So in that previous game, of course, we did see that EGiNcontrol went for a really nice DT play, went for a drop whilst attacking the front with some DTs off 2 base, and Bomber actually going for a very heavy bio presence with those 1-1 Marine Marauders, with a few medevacs in the sky to help out with the healing, and then actually switching into some Ghosts, which of course help out with dealing with those ground forces that EGiNcontrol had, along with being able to EMP those DTs when they came into the mix. So it sort of went along, and then of course we had that very interesting base trade, which probably went on for a little bit longer than it should have, but EGiNcontrol unfortunately falling down because he had no way to get up and take that extra base that Bomber took down in the bottom. But the probe scouting out again, as you can see, checking both of those gas, just making sure he can see exactly what Bomber is up to, and scouting no gas, you can normally assume that it is going to be a fast expansion. So we'll see if Bomber is going to get that up and running shortly here. One Marine coming out to try and push away that scouting probe. The SCV, the scouting SCV of Bomber is actually way out of position here. He's going to the wrong position down at the bottom right hand side of the map. He's going to be taking a long time to actually scout out where EGiNcontrol is. As we can see though, EGiNcontrol getting the cyber up. It looks as if we may have another fast expand here off the 1 gate for EGiNcontrol as well. Going to chrono out that Stalker so he has a little bit of map presence there to make sure he's not totally undefended. But without that second gas, that's generally the big pro tip, that he is going to get a quick nexus. And we can see here Bomber actually getting that second command center up and running. Going to grab a couple of extra racks, you would assume, straight after that. It's generally standard to grab an extra 2 to 3 racks when you are doing that fast expansion. It sort of depends how economical you want to go with your production, and for the moment it looks as if we'll keep an eye on that SCV here. No, he's not going to, so he's going to stick with the 3 racks for the moment here. We'll probably see a bunker go up just to make sure that he is properly defended. And of course, as we mentioned before, this map can generally quite quickly turn into those the MC style, either 2 base plays. You can see a 1 base play, which is a little bit more risky, with a lot of sentries to force field out the SCV so they can't repair the bunkers, and then just try and push in from there. But as we can see here, EGiNcontrol is actually just going to go for the very quick Nexus there, getting up a couple of extra gateways as well, which is very standard. So he's going to get a second Stalker out, which is interesting. From time to time you will generally see some sentries actually coming out instead of the extra Stalkers. In fact, he's going to have 3 Stalkers out. I'm a little bit surprised that he's getting that many Stalkers, but of course he's getting a 4th gate up and running as well. Still no second gas just yet, so that of course is pointing to the fact that we will probably see something a little bit more zealot based, of course, with a little less involvement of those sentries. We can see that there'll probably be a few more Stalkers out on the map as well. Meanwhile, back at the base of Bomber, he's just getting out more and more Marines. Got 1 tech lab up for the Marauders, and we can see that he's finally getting that second gas up and running. He's going to get a few supply depots while he's at it, because of course you will need it when you're starting to produce consistently out of the 3 racks. Now, just sort of waiting to see exactly what Bomber is going to get up to here. Once he gets this economy a little bit further, he will probably start making the decisions as to what exactly he's going to go for. But as you can see, Stim is now coming along as well, giving him a nice little advantage once that's up and running. Have a look at the stalker count. That's a very interesting stalker count here from EGiNcontrol. He's going to have a pylon up, so this is going to be a, what was that? It was a 5-gate attack here from EGiNcontrol. A little bit interesting on the numbers here and the composition of these units. Of course, stalkers do a great amount of damage to the marauders, but the problem for EGiNcontrol is that there are very few marauders. They will do a nice amount of damage against those bunkers as well, but the problem being is that there is only this one lonely sentry here in this mix, so he's only going to have a couple of force fields available to him to try and block out the SCVs if they get into the fight and start repairing the bunkers. So this may not be the best decision for EGiNcontrol if he is going to push in here. It has a few Zealous attack at the front. We got 6 in total. We've got a total of 8 Stalkers now in this group, and he's going to try and push in. As I said, I'm very sort of scared about what's going to happen here. Gets a Guardian Shield up. He's going to take out this bunker here, along with a few units inside it, no doubt. But the SCVs coming along to tank for these units here. A little bit surprised there's no stop micro there from Bomber, but he has taken care of this pack here. There was just those SCVs doing a little bit of meat shielding there for the rest of the bio forces of Bomber. Is just way too much for the Protoss to deal with. The Zealots now warping in again, trying to come inside. This is not the best idea, I wouldn't think. There are so many Marines here which do a great amount of DPS, as we can see, actually using a little bit of starter step micro to try and take out the rest of the forces before they can retreat. But we're going to have 2 bunkers up again for Bomber, and he's going to be in a great spot here. So I'm just thinking it's time for him to pull back. Want to see EGiNcontrol pull back right about now. There is no reason to attack again. He's going to lose more units, I would suggest. But here he goes again. He's trying to push in here. Going to lose maybe 1 or 2 Stalkers. No, he's not, but he is going to be forced back across the map. So that's pretty much the end of that for EGiNcontrol. He's lost. He's going to have to deal with Stimpack and concussive shells now. Bomber will probably be well aware of that. May be able to actually catch up to a couple of these units. There is a Stalker stuck behind, a Sentry and 2 Zealots. And now we're going to have to see if EGiNcontrol can defend against this incoming attack. We've got a Forge coming as well, which is not going to be too useful just at the moment here. What he will be able to do is get some more force fields up. I would love to get some extra sentries up here in EGiNcontrol, but it looks as if he's just going to stick with in fact, we've only got the 3 gas at the moment here. Very interesting to see. Normally I would have thought that that 4th gas would have been taken, trying to actually utilize that as much as possible. But as you can see, Bomber now streaming units across. We've got that 3rd gas up and running, so he is going to be producing out of these 3 racks quite consistently, along with this double starport as well. And in fact, EGiNcontrol now going into the red with his supply, losing that proxy pylon as well. But I think we are going to have a timing attack coming across here from Bomber. He's going to get a couple of these medevacs out. He's either going to use them for drops or perhaps to elevate to this top area here just to sort of bypass this defensive position that EGiNcontrol can utilize here. But as we said before, just the one problem at the moment is that there isn't really too much tech out for EGiNcontrol. He's getting that Twilight Council up and running now. It's going to be way behind, of course. The charge takes about 10 years to complete. +1 to armor is going to be on the way as well. But here we go. He's actually going to send in a couple of medevacs down the back. Meanwhile, these Terran forces at the front are probably going to look to try and distract here. May look to, where's that? Is that factory still around? Okay, the factory's over here. I thought he might try and use that to get some vision of this high ground. Take out the assimilator. Just be very annoying while he actually sends his medevac crew up to the top. But we'll see what happens here. The unit's still continually streaming out here for Bomber. Off that 3 racks, he's getting another command center up and running. Probably going to look to expand while he is doing this. And here he goes, actually pushing these units into position here. He's going to drop actually to the top here. Medevac providing a little bit of vision here, distracting all of these units. Meanwhile, up at the top here, bringing down that Marauder Marine group with the double medevac stimming up, and he's going to be doing, look at that, absolutely insane starter step micro there. Not totally needed because there is no charge, but still he's able to take out a lot of those forces here, and he's going to be able to tear through the rest of these probes that are trying to come out to attack. There are just way too many units there. Meanwhile, down at the natural expansion, elevating more units up into the natural here. Going to take out some of these units as well. Some beautiful force fields here to try and trap some of these units. Unfortunately, there just is not enough to take out the rest of these bio forces. And there is the GG from EGiNcontrol. Very quick game there between these 2 players. Unfortunately, just getting a bit late, I would say, maybe on that tech there, and just committing a little bit too hard onto this very sentry-free attack at the natural expansion earlier on. So great game for Bomber there, doing a great job taking out EGiNcontrol 2-0. We're going to have some more MLG games coming up very soon. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to youtube.com/DuckFeelLol. Thank you guys. Cheers.